Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. Good morning to you. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. You know, some days when you get up and you're like, you know what? I got a feeling about today. That's what I'm feeling. I'm so excited. I ain't gonna hide it. I know you want to be here. Thank you for showing up and doing me one solid today. Together, guess what we're doing? We're enacting one of the greatest promises available to us, the one that tells us and guarantees us that when, just two of us come in here and we say, I got the same mindset. Oh my God, it's like this. Look, I do this every day. It's one thing when we meet each other, we go, you know what? We kind of come from the same neighborhood or whatever, but every now and then we figure it out that, look at this. We are literally cut from the same bolt of cloth. Huh? Right. Give me an amen. Put an amen up there. I'll kick it off. Good morning. And yes, there's the very first amen. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren. And today, another illuminated conversation on the way. We have REBECCA LEHEW here today. And I said, as much as I talked to her at the RPXP experience, the retreat in San Diego, a little over a month ago, we hung out a lot. I should have said, hey, how do you pronounce your last name? Because I was like, is it Lehew? Is Lehew, I think. Okay, I see her backstage shaking her head. So yeah, Rebecca's here. And here's what she has to say about herself. Now she's a little quiet one. I'm gonna just tell you, busy bee. I watched her from the very first moment I arrived at the mansion. I was like, who is she? She's so quiet, but she's so busy. Kind of stayed to herself, but was just constantly in a mode of service. And I was so respectful of that. And I couldn't take my eyes off of her. So I had to get to know her. And I'm so glad I did. And today you get to have that same experience. So who is she? She works with the Red Pill Experience, the Abundant Tribe Leaders, RPXP ATL. She's their business manager, and she's also a life coach. She says that her goals and aspirations consist of standing as a source for a world filled with unconditional love, intimacy, sovereignty, empowerment, and humanity. Now, she says that she became alive. I'm alive, she said, for the first time in 47 years after taking a transformational course back in 2022, which was just last year, right? She said yes to herself. She chiseled away at that casket that she feels was holding her hostage, that she'd been hiding in all of her life. She says that I learned to love myself, honor myself, and know that I am worthy, I'm sexy, I'm beautiful, and so much, much more. Now, we're going to get to it because that's the only way to get through it. And I'm going to get in here and bring her in because this is her first time, you guys, I believe, ever being like on a podcast or a television show, being interviewed. And so we're going to love all up on her today. How do we do it from where we are all over the world right now? Easy. Put some hearts on the screen. It's our standing ovation virtually. It's the way we wrap some love around our guest today, because guess what? Here she comes, REBECCA LEHEW. I got to take a picture of us because I'm so excited. I'm going to put that on my wall of fame.
Yes.
Whenever someone's a first timer, I do that. Is that a tiara? Oh, you leaned it in.
Yeah, I'm the queen. Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, and okay, you're doing too much. Okay. Oh my God, it looks so good.
Well, thank you.
Well, wait a minute. And it is Halloween.
It is Halloween.
Okay, I was gonna go and get something out of our boxes.
There we go. Yes.
But I didn't because I'll wear this today.
Yes. The king and the queen.
Come forth.
Yes. Okay. Every day.
But truth be told, I'd probably be a little more comfortable in a tiara, if you know what I mean.
That's okay.
I just kidding. That's a beautiful one. Rebecca, how have you been since I saw you last, girl?
I have been amazing. Just so much transformation, from RPXP. A lot
Are you back in Texas?
I am back in Texas.
You were out on the road for a minute.
Yeah, I was there for 24 days, and so it's 2-hour difference.
Yeah.
So it took a little while for me to, get my body to get back to Texas time. And
let's talk about what you really missed. That wonderful husband of yours.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you usually do this, like leave for like a month at a time?
No, usually it'll be a 2-week. This was the longest ever in 22 years that I had been gone.
Wow. Was it difficult?
You know, not like it would have been or it has been in the past, because we've grown to allow each other to be themselves, do whatever we want to do, whatever we choose. We support each other, and we know that we're going to come home to each other.
Oh,
So,
no, that's
you
right.
know, we get to do whatever we want to do and just love each other through it, you know?
Oh, can I make an announcement? I forgot really
Yes.
quickly. I have two things I want to say. The first one is I want us to send, and I know this is, they're like, but he was a celebrity. It's not like you knew him, but I did meet him. I did meet him, Matthew Perry. I met Matthew
Wow.
Perry, and I just want us to send light and love and condolence prayers and what
Absolutely.
healing to his family. I actually met him at the Laugh Factory, Mitzi Shore's place, Pauly Shore's mother in Hollywood. I was out there working as a singer back then, and we would go to karaoke and to open mic there. And when I met him, he had just signed to do the show Friends, and nobody knew that it was going to be as
Wow.
big, as it was. Yeah. And so I just wanted to get that in there. And then also,
Absolutely.
you guys, starting tomorrow, November 1st, it is November National Adoption Month. So I want to let you all know, because I am an adoptee and I have something for you guys. If you are interested in finding out more about how you can help raise awareness for adoption, there are over 400,000 children in
Mm,
foster care right now
mm,
in this very moment in the United States alone. And of those, 117,000 of those children are waiting to be adopted.
mm.
And so I really would hope that you guys could take some time and just, pray for the kids that are looking for homes, pray for the parents that want kids in their homes, and pray that they find each other. Can we get an amen? Thank you for that. Thank
Yeah.
you. So let's talk about you. Can I usually let people have a moment to just say hello to the crowd,
Uh-huh.
start their own vibe. Are you okay? Do you want to do that?
Sure.
I know it's your first time and I don't want to scare you and put you on the spot.
No,
Just like
I'm
30
stepping out
seconds.
of my comfort zone. This is growth for me. So
Okay.
let's
Okay. And
go.
what do we call you, Queen Rebecca?
Sovereign Queen is what
Sovereign Queen.
Dr. Monsi calls me Sovereign Queen. So
Sovereign
I guess I've
Queen.
adopted that name,
It is for you.
and I will own it.
Take off and
All
give them
right.
a little taste of Sovereign Queen. I'll be right back.
Okay. So my name's Rebecca. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, and I met Dr. Lauren at the RPXP retreat here last month. And I have been with RPXP now for 3 events, and it's been amazing. I have 5 kids, 4 grandkids, another one on the
You
way.
have what? Wait, I'm coming back on that one. Girl, you have.
I have 5, yes. The oldest is 31.
All right, I'm done. Quit playing. You do not have a 31-year-old child.
I do. And she's got 3 grandchildren. 3 kids. The oldest is 11. Yeah.
I'm
owning it. I receive.
girl. Oh, Bella
Yes.
Purpose. Bella Purpose.
Yes.
Wow, that is awesome. Now listen, I just why I'm so excited about you is because you're gonna touch a lot of lives today here. I want you take us back, Rebecca. Um, Take us back and give us a little bit of your origin story, if you could. Where'd you get started in life? What was it like? What were your dreams when you were a little princess, sovereign princess? Was it easy? Did you grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth? What was it like? I want people to understand how we got to that woman that is in front of us today, because you just said last year you had a transformation. So take
Yeah.
us up to last year, if you could, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. All right. So basically, yeah, I did not have a very fun childhood. I was the youngest of 3. And I was a tomboy. I was bullied up until, I guess, 8th grade. The only thing I was good at was sports. So that's kind of what kept me going. And my parents signed me away to get married at 15. I was not pregnant. I was not, it was kind of, everything begins in the womb. I'm learning these puzzle pieces, as you said.
Okay,
In the
wait.
beginning.
When you said signed away, like an arranged marriage?
Well, no, he was my boyfriend. He was my first boyfriend, but they signed the marriage license and then they disowned me.
Wait, but you wanted to get married?
Yeah, I was 15. I mean, first boyfriend, but yeah, I mean.
Wait a minute. Were you in a town called Butcher Holla? I'm like,
I was in a very small town in West Texas. So like our high school class is like 30 people. So very small.
Why did you want to get married and you weren't pregnant so early?
He was my first boyfriend. I was not popular. People were constantly picking on me and bullying me. And so being my first boyfriend, he was 19, I was 15. It was just one of those things where then all of a sudden my parents, they let him live with me or live with us. And then they kicked him out and said, you can't see him unless you go to church. So there are all these rules that, he can live with us. Then all of a sudden you can't see him, right? Unless you go to church. Well, that's not why you go to church, but that's why I went to church was to see my boyfriend. Right. So, finally we were just like, well, let's just get married. They signed the marriage license and then they disowned me. And that's why I have a 31-year-old daughter. I had her when I was 17.
Wow.
I was divorced by the time I was 18. I dropped out of high school when I was with him. But after that, I went back. I graduated a year later.
Wait, that was a book in and of itself.
Yeah.
The 18-year-old divorcee.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you had a baby.
Yeah.
At 18. So at 18, you're divorced and you have your first child. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So then pretty much my parents just disowned me. And so I was just kind of on my own. So I've always been a knee-jerk reactor. Somebody who just, you look at me wrong, I'm coming at you. Once I got in my first fight, I realized, oh, this tiny little bony girl is not so weak after all, right? So then I became the bully.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you saying you whooped some ass?
I did.
I saw that happen once at school. A little skinny girl.
Yeah. Yes. And
I'll never forget, her name was Tammy Marshall. And that black girl said to her, talk your damn shit now. And she went, okay, pow. Out she went. That was in that. She was a star for the rest of her 4 years. Let me ask you something though. You said you still maintain that your parents at 18 had still disowned you, but you had a baby by now. They didn't come around after you had your daughter?
They came around, but they came around being very malicious and vindictive and diabolical as trying to take my daughter from me, which did happen.
They got her?
They did get temporary custody of her but there's a lot to the story.
Okay.
And,
okay.
It's
keep going.
Yeah. And so basically I've just been on my own and all I've known is to fight, right? Like fight. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight. And so 22 years ago, I met Byron.
And who's Byron?
Byron is my husband.
Okay. Hi, Byron.
And he took on me and my 3 kids at the time. He had 2 of his own. We raised his 2, so that's why I say I have 5. They are mine, and he has treated them no differently than his own. He does not separate them from his own. He's just. If we were to separate, I have tattooed him on my heart, not because of our intimate relationship, but the relationship that he has with my children, what he's done for my children, right? Like, and then I've always struggled with my self-worth and, knowing who I was. I didn't know who I was. I constantly was a knee-jerk reactor.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that for a moment? Because I actually, this is a spot I wanted to get to. This was a sweet spot, because, you and I talked about this when we were there, and you still have some of that bathtub ring. You let the water out of the tub from that, but there's still, and I know about that. Some people call it imposter syndrome. There's all kinds of ways to approach it. But let's talk about that. Why do you feel that that was a big issue for you?
Well, I didn't have anybody standing beside me. I didn't have anybody, you know, going through life with me. I felt like everybody was against me. My parents didn't want anything to do with me. My sister was married and off on her own. My brother, homeless and had done some things to people in the family, including myself. That's one of the reasons why there was trusting women for me started with my mom.
Okay.
Don't want to get really into too much detail on that.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So that's where that part started of me having a hard time with trusting women. So I've always just been defending and fighting for myself up until now. Like I don't have to do that anymore. Like I have so much family on Byron's side that can, and then now all the family from my transformational course, all of that stuff. So I just didn't know who I was. I didn't love myself. I felt stupid. I was intimidated a lot. I just was I was really a recluse. I was an introvert. I didn't talk hardly at all. When Byron and I met, I wouldn't even eat in front of him. It was just, I had zero confidence in myself. And
Wow,
Byron
you would have
I,
been, I'm shocked you didn't end up with a narcissist.
yeah.
You would have been a perfect fit for one of those. I mean, submissive, keep your mouth shut, all of that. Thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Byron.
Yes, I have been very blessed to have the man in my life that I have. He is, he does treat me like a queen. That's
so even with Byron holding you out there, uplifting you, you still were struggling with this feeling.
Yeah.
Of
So,
not being enough.
yeah, we had some, some trials and tribulations, throughout the 22 years.
All couples do.
Yeah. And, some of them got pretty bad. And then it was 2021, I think, is when Byron, we were having some issues. He took this transformational course. He was down in that deep, dark pit of hell. And one of his friends called him and got down there with him, pulled him up. He took the transformational course. I saw a difference in him immediately. And so
he took it first.
He took it first. And
wow.
So he enrolled me. And so then I took it. And it was go all in or go home for me.
Man,
like,
you got a good guy.
Yeah, I have an amazing guy.
Okay, so you saw Byron. How soon after he finished this transformational course, which we're going to get into, did you take it? A year, 6 months?
No, it was within a couple of months. And the next one he took, it was class 30 and 31. I took 34.
So were you doing it because he was pushing you, or did you really want some change?
In the beginning, it was because he was pushing me to do it. And then I realized, because we were in a bad situation, and I'm like, it's either do or die here. I cannot continue to lay here and feel like I can't function without him. Right. Like I'm better than that. I'm stronger than that. It's either do or die. Okay. And so that's when I said, okay, it's a full body yes for me. And so
I like that.
Full body yes
full
for
body,
me.
You were all in.
Yeah. So when it was a full body yes for me, I immediately called him up and said, okay, I know it starts tomorrow. How do I get to California? Like, I mean, it was that quick.
So this course was in person.
It was the last in person. Yes. Now
and
it's
how long was it to last?
So it was like a 4-month program we took. But it was spread out. So the first week was 3 days, and it was called Vision. And then we had a break in between, and we came back for Breakthrough week, which was 4 days.
Okay.
And then after that, it was practice, and it would be we would have practice 1, practice 2, and then practice 3, which would be the graduation.
Okay.
So
let's go back to the beginning. I would love you to know. Oh, so you go in and you're a little bit like, okay, I'm doing this for you, Byron, but I'm here. Yeah. What do you remember? Does it stand out? The very first thing that started, and you refer to it in your bio as shattering this casket kind of thing. So when did you hear the casket start to crack?
Ooh,
Like
yeah,
if you
mhm,
ice cracks when you
absolutely.
what was it? What was that moment? Do you remember?
Yeah, that was during the first week of the transformational course.
Okay.
Can't talk too much about it, but there was one exercise that was
You can't?
we can't tell the exercises because then it ruins the experience for people who haven't taken it, right? So you don't want to, when you go into this class, you don't want to know what's going to happen.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that powerful. But
Okay.
it was
What
an
can you talk about?
exercise. It was an exercise where people would come to you and tell you what was least attractive about you. And yeah, it was pretty brutal. I had about 10 people line up in front of me, and I went into just complete panic mode, wanted to run, like, get me out of here. This is, I'm so unworthy. I'm so not this just confirms, right? I got into my head. It was the most powerful exercise
Oh
that
my God. I think
yeah,
I would have wanted to run out.
yeah, it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. But what I got from that was that what these people saw in me, I wasn't seeing in myself, and I was hiding it all. And so it was the most powerful exercise that I could have ever done, because rather than knee jerk reacting and ready to, oh yeah, you want to say that about me? I'll catch you outside kind of thing, right?
Come on, can I see you in the bathroom for a minute? There's a dumpster right out in the back. I
Exactly.
heard somebody put a bag full of money back there. You should go check it out.
Exactly. And that's kind of how I felt. And I'm like, once I started listening to the feedback, it was not negative. It wasn't bad things. It was things that people saw in me that I was hiding, or that I was putting out there, that was just a facade, and they could see right through it. Right. So
Yeah.
that was when I started realizing, oh, okay, these people see something in me. They don't know me from,
I was gonna say,
they don't know
wouldn't you
me
be
from,
questioning? Wouldn't you? Did you question? Oh, wait, girl, please talk to my hand. How do you even know me? We've only been here like what, an hour, a half a day.
yeah.
So how do you think these people, where did they find the courage to just come step up to you and say this stuff?
Well, I could tell you, because I was the first one. When I said I was going all in, I meant I was going all in. I am somebody who, I'm not a quitter.
Yeah.
I stay committed, and I said I was going to go all in. I did. I was the first person to stand up and grab the microphone. Didn't realize what I was getting myself into.
Oh, so you were the guinea
That was it.
pig and you didn't know
Exactly.
but that was probably the best thing you could have done.
Absolutely. So because I was so vulnerable from the minute that the trainer got up and took the mic and asked the question, even though people were scared of me because I had so much baggage, they were like, get away from me. Don't, this kind of thing. Yeah. Like, ugh. Yeah, exactly. By the end of Vision Week, I had so many people coming up to me saying, your vulnerability allowed me to be vulnerable and open up and have
Macaulay
breakthroughs.
Macaulay Culkin in 3, 2, 1. So can you share a little bit about what these 10 people said about you? I mean, what were these revelations that clearly started a process of transformation?
That I was an alpha female, that I was hiding behind my beauty and my femininity and portraying myself as this tough, ready to fight girl, which is exactly what I explained to you, that a knee-jerk reactor. And then one was that it was all about me. I wasn't listening or letting anybody else talk. It was just all about me, all about me, all about me, all about me. Well, I had a lot to say. I had a lot of baggage. So I was letting it out, and then I had some issues with stereotyping I used to have issues with redheads. Yeah. And we don't need to go into detail on that. But yeah. So one of the girls that came up to me was a redhead. And I was like, oh shit. Sorry. I'm
No,
like,
no, you can cuss here.
yeah,
That's
I'm
fine.
like, oh, no, no, no. And I'm just immediately was like, everything was blacked out except for the fact that she had red hair, right? Didn't know her, didn't care. I'm like,
Wow.
oh, yeah, she came at me. Here we go. Well, we did another exercise where we got to just pick one person and sit down with them. Oh, I ran to her. And I was so mean, so brutal, just ripped her to shreds from head to toe of what I didn't like about her hair, her face, her skin, everything. And just, and then afterwards, I was like, who are you? What are you doing? How brutal. That was so mean and so just disgusting, right? Like she didn't deserve that, but it was a trigger for me that, she had came to me as not attractive, right? So it was, and the fact that she had, so it was a trigger for me. So in between the vision and the breakthrough, I reached out to her and told her that I really wanted to sit down with her when we got there for breakthrough week.
Okay.
And just kind of explained to her, hey, this was the trigger. This is why. And she allowed me actually to deal with that trigger and realize that I don't get to stereotype every single person because of one bad situation that happened to me. Right. Like, and so it was a very powerful experience.
What about today when you run into a redhead? I'm trying to remember. Was there a redhead at the RPXP? I don't remember.
I don't have issues with them anymore. I've learned that, I can't I mean, that
Well, you never really had issues with the redheads. You had an issue with the original
yes,
redhead.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
did you forgive this redhead that caused all this? How did you get that chapter?
Yeah, I had to just let it go. I had to release it and yeah,
But
forgive.
how? I mean, this is the part. Here we go. So when people, because somebody out there has something with blondes, somebody out there has a problem with guys with mutton chops. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just saying. I was trying to think of that thing Billy Ray Cyrus wore. What's that called? That hair thing.
Oh, the mullet.
The mullet. Yeah, might
Yes.
have trouble with the mullet. But my point is, you can't just go, okay, I'm done, redhead girl. Be on your way, leave me, and then you're free and clear with all redheads moving forward. What did it actually? Did you have to go out and go for a walk and say, okay, bitch, I'm done. You have haunted me long enough. Or did you talk to yourself? How did you do it?
I spent some time by myself. And yeah, pretty much just, I don't get to judge people based on things that have happened to me, from other people. Not everybody's the same. Everybody deserves a chance. We all make mistakes, including myself. I mean, being a parent, a lot of mistakes, but there's no regrets. There's no shame. There's no blame. None of that. I've let it all go. And I just, one of my biggest things, which I say in my bio, is that loving unconditionally. Like that means everybody, all the good, all the bad that comes with, right? Like just love.
Okay.
And don't expect,
This thing hurts.
with no expectations and no limitations, right? Because when we put expectations and limitations on people that we love, that's not love.
So let me ask you this, because it's so fresh. This transformation is really, you're still in what a lot of people would refer to as the honeymoon stage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like you're just starting to date this thing.
Yeah.
What happens when you run into people, especially now coming up to the holiday season, people that you have not seen since this transformation has taken place, and they're expecting that same old girl? Can you detect when you come up to people, you run into people for the first time since this changed, and you can just sense that they still think you're that bitch?
Yeah.
And I hate to use that word, but
no,
I
that's
remember
okay,
you
because
told me that's how you felt you were to people.
It's exactly what I was. I
you
was
told
a
me
bitch.
that.
Like, yeah, I mean, I was. And the thing is that my energy and my vibration that I put off is immediately noticed. So if they don't see it, if they don't see the change in Rebecca, the transformation in Rebecca,
were people saying? Were they saying something's different?
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it was very noticeable. I mean, even people like in the grocery store, all of the people come up to me. I love your energy. I love your. I mean, now I'm this social butterfly that I never thought that I would ever be in my entire life, and I
Wow.
just share my story. Like I don't go in deep. I just share. Listen, we get to love everybody. We get to stand in our power. We get to set healthy boundaries if need be, and we can love from a distance, but we get to love ourselves. We get to put ourselves first because we matter. And if we are no good for ourselves, we're no good for anybody.
Anyone else? Amen.
Yeah.
So do you ever, let me ask, do you ever just say like now? Because a lot of times I know it myself, as soon as something clicks into a better version of myself, I almost forget that I was that person until
Yes.
someone reminds me, or I see a photo from back then or something. Are you ever shocked that, what are you talking about? I've always been this way. You know what I mean? What do you feel is the heaviest thing you got rid of?
Oh man. I would have to say the alpha in me, the toughness. I have found that in order for me to be authentic and vulnerable and, all these things, I need gentleness. I need kindness. You know, you can get things across to me, but if you come at me in a harsh voice or in a controlling voice, that's what you're going to get back from me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to tell people, please, gentle. You can be firm. You can get your point across. Do it with love. Do it with
How you bring
gentleness.
it in.
Yes, because if you do not, then Rebecca's going to react in a way that she would react in the past. And we've talked about this. The old Rebecca's dead. And I have said this ever since you and I had that conversation. The old Rebecca's dead. So there's no more fear of that old Rebecca coming back in. She's not creeping in. She's gone.
Not even a little bit. I mean, like if somebody, what about when you run into somebody who's a version of the old you and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I got some of that too. Don't get it twisted. I mean, are you ever tempted? Do you have to catch yourself? Or is it just completely gone?
No. She's not completely gone. There are moments where I get fearful that old Rebecca is going to come out because I am scared of that old Rebecca. But then that's when I reach out for support.
And what does that look like?
That looks like reaching out to my friends and family from the transformational course. They hold space for me. They hold the bucket. I get to just spew it out. And there's a difference between playing victim and getting support, right? So I don't just call them up and complain.
That's what she said to me.
Exactly. Then I want their feedback. I want their support. How do I handle this? What's your advice? Help me where you see that I'm going wrong. What can I do to make this better? I want to improve every single second of my life, every single day. And I'm not going to be perfect. And the old Rebecca's going to creep up every once in a while because there's going to be triggers. There's triggers from everything that's happened in our lives, right? So for me, it's acknowledging and being able to recognize when that trigger and what that trigger was so that the next time it happens, it gets easier and easier.
So do you feel, Rebecca, how much of this new you and this transformation do you think is contingent on the fact that you finally started giving yourself permission?
All of it. All of it.
Big piece, huh?
Yeah, because I never believed that.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I never believed that I mattered. Like I just thought that I was just this being, just this another being here on the planet. And I
even with your husband telling you all these wonderful things about you, still the dictator that was that narrator that was I know I definitely get this. It's in my masterclass. I say it. There was that voice that just kept broadcasting. No, it's in my Goalcast. One tragedy after the next. And it would be happy doing it as long as I gave it permission to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So what do you attribute within your own spirit, Rebecca? What were you able to do then that you weren't able to do prior as far as giving yourself permission? How long did it take for you to understand, wait a minute, I kind of like this thing called permission to speak?
Yeah, because I get to be heard, I get to be seen, I get all of these things, and I still struggle when you pulled me aside, you didn't know me from shit either, but you nailed everything right on the head, right? Like bam, 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 bam. I'm like, how does he know these things about me? So I do still struggle with the whole thing of being seen. Like, even though I know that I'm a workhorse, I'm a busy bee, I know I'm beautiful, I know I'm sexy, I know that everything that I do is amazing in it. I've got so much to offer, right? Clearly, there's still something inside me that's still looking for that affirmation. You told me that, and it didn't come from you. It came from the spirits.
Came through me.
Yeah.
On its way to you. Absolutely
and the fact
right.
that you knew that, I thought, man, okay, I get to listen to this guy. I get to listen to him because he sees me and he knows me, and I don't know him at all, but he knows everything about me. And so I really just try to catch myself in those moments, because I never want to revert back to that old Rebecca, and I never will, because I feel so free. I don't know if you can see back here, but this is like what we did at...
Yes, the cradling.
Okay, this is on the beach. This is me. And this is John and some of our other people. So they had played my song and wanted to do that for me after graduation on the beach. And so that was a moment that got captured, and it was beautiful.
Okay. My
certification for the transformational course, but then a poem from John that he wrote especially for me, which is how we bonded, right? And he has really helped me a lot in seeing me, because he was very judgmental of me. And the poem explains that, because I had done drugs, I smoked cigarettes, and he was like, ugh, immediately just shut me off. And then we did an exercise, and we had to look at each other and lock eyes, and he chose me to live. And
what does that mean?
So it's an exercise that I can't really go into detail, but it is you get to save 3 people. You can save yourself, 2 other people, or 3 people and not save yourself.
Okay.
So kind of when he got to me and he said my name and we locked eyes and we just started bawling, and he saw me and he saved me. So I was one of the 3 that he saved out of 48. Rebecca. And that was life-changing for me. And John and I have been, beside each other since then. Like, he sees me for who I am. He sees, and it's been amazing. So yeah, so it's all about just being willing and open to taking full responsibility of your actions at all times, no matter what.
I gotta ask. It's itching and just bursting. I want to ask this question. Do you ever see yourself in others, the old you, and say, I want to go and help that person? Because I know that's one of the things. Sometimes I say it's like a blessing and a curse at the same time. Yeah. That it is so clear to me when I see, because my thing was anger. My thing, I would go from 0 to 100 in the drop of, I mean, seriously, if some spit came out of your mouth before it landed, I was on you.
Yeah.
Yep. And it never, ever served me. It was my number one go-to when it came to self-sabotage. If I wanted to destroy something that was of benefit to me, I did it through a portal of anger. And so it is very easy for me to see that in certain people, and not from a judgmental way, but as a reminder.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Did I
Was
acted
I
like
really
that?
that
Oh,
horrible?
ooh, what?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
talk about what goes through your mind when you see that. Are you just like, okay, boy, am I glad I'm not that girl anymore? Or do you feel this pull like, oh, how do I let her know it doesn't have to be that way? Talk
Yeah, so
about that.
probably some of all of it, right? Like, like I used to be like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm not like that anymore, right? I'm so glad that I found the real Rebecca. And then of course, my heart who wants to share everything that I've learned in this transformational process for myself. There's nothing better than being a part of somebody else's transformation and being in transformation yourself. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
we get to share that with people. Now, I don't go up and just Bible thump, that type of stuff. That's not how I do it. I will tell my story. I'll start a conversation, blah, 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 and then get into, oh, well, I took this transformation and just kind of work my way
Yeah.
into it. So it's not like I'm like being judgmental. I'm not,
Sure.
because if they're a knee-jerk reactor, they might knock me out, right?
True. True.
So I have to be very careful on how I approach that.
Here's a piece, and I used to see this all the time when I was doing my little jail thing, in and out, in and out, in and out, and I would meet people in there who all of a sudden they found Jesus. When they were locked up, they found Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people would say, they'd get home or whatever, or even on the streets, somebody, I got saved last Sunday. And as soon as they would tell us that they got saved, we'd all be on the lookout for them to do something from the old. Aha! Thought you said you got saved. So, what about your deep family connections and deep friendships in, let's say, your sacred circles? Sometimes do you find that it feels a little unfair that people will say, there she is. There's a glimpse of that old her. I knew she didn't change, because, some people don't want to accept that we have, because because now they're feeling like they've been left behind.
Exactly.
They don't have you as that doormat anymore.
Exactly.
They don't have you as the person that everyone talks shit about in the family. They got to find a new whipping post.
That's
Talk
right.
about how you deal with that, because I know you deal with that.
I do deal with that. And what I do is I approach it with love, kindness, gentleness, but also standing in my power. And I will separate myself from anybody or anything that doesn't bring me joy. And I can love them from a distance. Like, it doesn't mean that I don't love them. It doesn't mean that you're not my sister anymore. It doesn't, or, whatever. It means that I love myself enough to know that I am doing myself a disservice by staying in this relationship the way that it is. And so I am somebody who goes all in. I am somebody who is typically the one putting in all of the work in the relationships, as friends, family, all of that. I am done doing that. Like, if you cannot put at least a little bit of effort, into the relationship, friendship, come see me. I go see you every time you call me, I'm there. I get to have that too. I get to have friends and family like that too. And so I've just cut it all off. I've just stopped. I'm like, I get to love you from a distance. And when you recognize what you can do to help the relationship and help yourself, then I'm here. But until then, you're doing me a disservice, and I'm allowing you to steal the joy that I have found.
And that is rightfully yours.
Exactly. And I'm not giving that up.
Exactly right. Rebecca, how difficult do you find it when okay, I need to extract myself from a toxic situation? or I already can tell what direction
Mhm.
this is heading.
Yep.
Let me excuse myself. How honest do you have to be with yourself on a
100% honest.
consistent basis so that you know when it's time? Okay, I'm done with this because I don't want to go backwards. How honest do you have to be yourself? And are you still struggling with that? Because it's fresh. You're still a toddler when it
I am
comes
a
to
toddler.
this. Mm.
But I'm never going back. It's not an option for me.
Oh,
I am just very aware of my inner being, what my gut's feeling in the moment. If it's not a full body yes, or if I'm starting to feel frustrated, I don't ever want to get to anger, because I too anger, I'll punch walls, used to punch myself in the face, pull my hair. It would be the self-sabotage for me. Like, I wouldn't hit
wow.
somebody, I might throw something at
Yeah,
you.
but I'm not going to lay hands
And I
on
used to
you.
play baseball, so watch out, you know.
Okay.
So as far as that, I try to stay really aware of my inner being and what my gut's telling me. And if I'm feeling frustrated, I will remove myself from the situation. If
Yeah.
I know that, okay, I'm not comfortable with this situation over here, I'm just going to go ahead and go on inside and go do my thing and let them, because I don't get to control what anybody else does to make me happy, right? I
Right.
just get to remove myself from the situation, let them be themselves, which has been a difficult thing for me. You know, it has been hard to surrender,
Woo.
let it go, surrender to what I cannot
Girl.
control.
Yes.
And that is it's a very hard thing to do, to surrender. But those are my two words: surrender and trust. Surrender and trust.
Yes.
Trust the process. And once I've done that, then it is everything falls together. It's those puzzle pieces that just keep coming together. It's like magic. Like, what's going on? It's so magical. And so
Yeah.
why not? Right? Like, why not pay attention to that? Why not listen to your inner being? Why not? Because it's such an amazing feeling.
Why not indeed?
Why
So
not?
we got about 4 minutes left, and I want to wrap this up on a high note. So what would you say? And this is just use your own dictionary, okay? Um, what would you say is your greatest joy today since this transformation, this new world that you navigate within? What is the thing you love the most about this new place you find yourself within?
I would say that would be being alive, feeling
Mm,
alive, free. I'm free. And I get to share this with other people. I get to offer them the tools to get to feel the way that I do on a daily basis. So it is all about just feeling joy, happiness, law of attraction, all of that stuff, and just loving myself, embracing my femininity. Like, I was a tomboy my whole life. Now I'm embracing the feminine side of me, and I'm being sexy, and I'm wearing sexy dresses, and I'm doing my makeup and my hair, and I'm wearing a tiara, all these things, and it makes me feel beautiful that I never knew I was before.
oh,
I never also, I don't want to start crying,
I
but
know.
yes, so I never believed it. I never believed
But
it.
you do
And
now.
100%.
Oh,
And I mean, I'm not like, oh, my shit doesn't stink, because let me tell you, I'm not perfect. But I'm 49 years old, and I'm owning it, and I'm loving
how's
it.
your husband feel about this new you?
Oh, he loves it. He loves it.
Did
And
he does he ever say, I knew she was here all along?
yeah, and you know what? I say the same thing about him too, because he took the transformational course. And so yes, we say these things to each other, because that's it's we're one, right? Like,
I think
we
it's
get to
beautiful.
lift each other up, we get to love each other, we get to support each other, we get to hold each other at the highest possible at all times,
Yes.
because we are one. And we've been together for 22 years. We've got 5 kids and 4 grandkids, another one on the way. We got a son getting married November the 10th, and then another daughter getting married April. So it's like we're gonna have such, we have so much
to be thankful for,
to be thankful for and grateful for. And why not hold each other high, and why not acknowledge each other's growth and transformation, and why not let each other be who we are without the insecurity or the judgment or the anger or any of that. Like, just let it go and just be you.
That's right. It can't be anything else. We can try like hell.
That's right.
But we won't reach it because it is not who we are.
Yeah, you'll never go anywhere. You'll stay in the same place the rest of your life until you acknowledge and are open to transformation and growth. You will stay stuck in every relationship that you're in until you find yourself. So yes. Yeah.
Beautiful note to end this interview on. Rebecca, I would have never known if you hadn't told us that this was your very first time. I hope and know that it will not be your last. You've got a lot to share with the world, and we're lucky, we're blessed to have you. So thank you so much for being vulnerable, for being forthcoming, for sharing your light and pouring into our cups. I thank you so much for that. I look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah.
And again and again and again.
Yes.
And if you all would like to continue the dialogue with the wonderful Rebecca, right there it is. And I will drop that link inside your comment section immediately following today's broadcast for easy access. Now, listen, tomorrow we've got Diane Alexander as the Red P XP Retreat extravaganza, the takeover, if you will, of Bathrobe Moments continues for the rest of the week and into next week as well. Listen. Thank you all for coming here today and giving us a piece of your light, just a little bit of it. And we hope you found something that makes your world a little brighter. So get out of here. Go find whatever it takes to be a little bit closer to your highest self in this day. And remember, I'll meet you, God willing, over there on the front porch tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central so that we can do this all over again. How great is that? Listen, the trick-or-treaters are out here tonight. If it's happening in your neck of the woods, be safe. Turn the lights on. Keep a lookout. Neighborhood watch. Drive slowly. Remember, the kiddos are out there. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning. Thank you again, Rebecca. Great job.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lauren. Love you.
Love you guys too. Have a great day, you guys. Bye now. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.